Welcome to Talk Dirt to Me, where two farmers shatter myths and take on the top issues facing America's farmers. Here's your hosts, Logan and Bobby Lee.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, good evening. We're back to evening recording.
Yeah, what did we do last week?
We did like an afternoon.
Oh, yeah, like 3 o'clock or something. Yeah,
weird.
I forgot about that. And
It's like I can't remember the last time I recorded and didn't have a drink.
I had a drink.
Yeah, you had a beer, but
I did.
I was going out of town later that night.
Yeah, you still should have had a beer or something.
I could have, but
Well, we got a pretty cool one tonight, guys. So we've been, I think, telling them we had another guest episode coming up.
Yeah, we teased a little.
We always, y'all know, we like to give a shout out, Agzaga. Well, tonight we pretty much got Agzaga in the house.
Come on, let's go.
Anthony, what's up, man?
I'm excited to be here. I have been watching this podcast from the beginning and excited to be here with you guys. Excited to be here with your whole audience, man.
Well, we're pumped to get you out here. And, we're going to get all into the story. Before we do.
Yeah, you're going to hear plenty about it.
Yeah. Tell them what they need to do, Bobby Lee.
Use that discount code. Talk Dirt, all caps, all one word. Everything's on sale. 10% off.
Yep. Use the word Talk Dirt, all caps. And, hey, I'll tell you a funny story, Anthony, real quick.
Come on.
So, the commodity jugs on there. I am like, I learned that I had an issue with the Indian and not the arrows on those. So I had gotten these, and Bobby Lee used them first, and he was like, "Man, these are great."
I was talking them up.
Just call it a commodity jug. We can't call it
anything
what you
else.
put in there. It's a commodity jug.
Yeah, but there was maybe a certain volatile liquid that we were using in there, and so Bobby Lee used them. He's like, "Man, these are good." So I got one, and man, the first time I used it, I dumped gas all over my boots and pants.
You're not supposed to put gas in it, right?
Well, that's true. Yeah, not gas. This was something else. Yeah, it was a commodity. And so I'm like, damn. And so then the guy that was helping me, he did it, and he was like, man, I got this stuff all over me. So I found out that because Bobby Lee was like, you weren't using it right.
The vent.
Dude, I'm used to the old gas jugs where you just took the vent off, and you dump it. And so, man, the last time I used this thing, I was putting gas in a little pressure washer, and I just I wasn't putting gas in there. Keep dropping that gas word.
It doesn't matter.
We know.
Yeah. And so
you were just off label, but that's okay.
That's true. I'm used to that anyways. So I just barely cracked the vent a little bit. Dude, that thing works perfect.
Yeah, we like to call that user error.
Yes, that's where. And so I told everyone on air, I'm like, all right, you need to go use them, but just crack the vent hose, and then you can speed it up if you need to. There, I'm like, man, it's amazing when you use stuff properly how good it works.
And you'll never go back to the other jugs.
No
way.
Jugs, yeah.
We had an old guy. He was an older dude. He was a badass welder, Timmy Kenny. I'll give him. He has passed on into the other life, but he used jugs like that on everything. Like he had them in all his service trucks.
I think you see everybody. That's all they use now. Because nobody wants the stupid push the button.
I hate them. See, I dump gas all over me with those.
Oh yeah, no, I'm twice as big of a mess.
Yeah, when you push the thing in, gas like pours out all over my gloves and everything else.
When I go to town to get my non-ethanol gas, I still have 2 of those jugs that I still take with my 2 commodity jugs. But yeah, I despise using them.
I've thrown all the other ones away. Yep.
I was going to say, pretty much all I got now is commodity jugs. I keep it on my service truck. All right. Well, we don't really have any. Well, what's any cattle update?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
As
far as just the U.S. markets and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, what's it looking like?
Man, price. I mean, things. The market's been really good. Really good is a simple thing. Of course, we talked about last week the screw worm shutting off imports from Mexico. That has helped a little bit, but there's just a lot of demand right now anyway. The cow herd's been small. The Southern Plains got a really good wheat crop for graze out wheat. You're every morning I'm seeing people posting, sales reports. It's just like, good Lord. Like, how are these cattle going to pencil out? But, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to go heavily into the cattle. It sounds like.
Well, that's what. Yeah, current news. Did you see where Cargill laid off 8,000?
I did, man.
I immediately called our buddy Lee.
He made the cut.
He was actually at a Cargill sales meeting. As I called him, I was like, "So you didn't get fired?" He's like, "No, man. I appreciate you reaching out. Being worried about me." But no. Anyway, yeah, we don't need to get too far off on that subject.
Well, I did see that, and I saw John Deere's doing another round of layoffs.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're in a full blown ag recession, and I've talked to several row crop guys because I got my plow cleaned this year. And I've talked to several of our buddies and friends in there, and pretty much all of them got stomped this year. And I'm honestly not even really joking when I'm like, I'm about to have to branch out into some other industry. Like,
well, because the outlook isn't great.
No.
Like this year didn't pencil out. Like,
and next year looks worse.
The future. Inputs aren't going down.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Is Agzaga hiring?
Let's go. Come on. 100%.
Say, man.
We got the same struggles in our agricultural companies as everybody. It's been not just one tough year. It's been a couple tough years.
Yep.
There's also been some really cool things that's going on with agriculture. We are seeing a lot of the things stabilize. Everything even from COVID to the shipments to everything being delayed. Like, there is some stability of stuff going on, but yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Agriculture itself is in recession.
Oh yeah. And that was one thing I was talking to a buddy about it. All of the, Agzaga, Jones, the Helenas and all them, everybody, when the farmers are in a bad spot, all of that industry feels the impact because it's
all these rural communities do. It's much farther reaching than just that 1.5%, 2%, whatever they're putting a plow in the ground or after poking cows. Yeah.
I'm gonna get like deep for just a second, then I want to go down your story here. I will say this because, like I said, man, things have looked bad. So there's no shame. I'm gonna be totally honest. There's no shame in, like, if you find yourself in a pretty bad spot,
come on.
Get you some help, call and talk to somebody, because it is not a secret that suicide rate is like really high in ag. The farmers it's like right there with the military on suicide rate. So guys, don't look, I know you get a lot of financial debt looming over your head. It seems like there's no escape. There's things you can do, at least talk to people. Like, don't let something like this drive you to, I'd say, a temporary problem doesn't need a permanent solution to it like that. So get some help if you find yourself really, if you are really bad in, reach out to us on any of our platforms, go to our website or message us on Instagram, whatever. If you are just really struggling, we'll talk to you. So
100%.
Don't go that route. So that's all I got to say on that. On a better note,
come on,
man. So you were telling me a little bit of your story.
Which, of course, Jared was here, it was back in February. It was right after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Cause I remember
because he's a Taylor Swift fan. He's a Swiftie. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, he's a Swiftie. But so we got to hear on Agzaga.
Yeah.
But we got to hear about this Jones twine.
Yeah. So my family, I'm the fourth generation CEO.
Yeah.
We have this phrase in our company, we just call it Jones companies. We've got 4 different companies and kind of this umbrella.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes all the way back literally 50 years ago. There's our 50th year anniversary. My great grandfather found a baling wire manufacturer in the 60s and early 70s and negotiated. And there was a day him and my grandpa formed this partnership to form 2 companies, Jones Twine and Net Wrap, and then Jones Boots.
Yeah.
So we were a wholesale distributor of your products that held hay bales together, and then we got a great little Western boot store still thriving today.
I got to ask you more on the boot thing. So I got like 8 pairs of cowboy boots. You were talking, man, I love some cowboy boots. I've actually always, with this year we've had, my brain's been everywhere. And I'm not going to do it because I'm not this crafty. But there is a part of me that's like, I need to start making cowboy boots.
Those are all small dreams that I got in the future of fun things that I'm thankful for our great little boot store. It's a retail shop, but I've got pretty big dreams of Agzaga actually getting into the Western apparel and the boot world.
That would be awesome.
I think you could do that. I don't mean to tell you, but Logan's dreams of raising bucking bulls and making his own cowboy boots, like, wow.
Well, I'm going to bring Bobby Lee in.
I guess the bulls that don't make it.
Listen, we're hiring.
Turn them into
We're
cowboy
hiring,
boots.
Logan. Let's
There
go.
you go. Dude, I'm like, when I have a dream, I don't like, some people shoot here. No, I'm like going for the stars, man.
100%.
Yeah, see, if the bucking bull gets down, we'll just kill it and skin. We'll make the boots out of that.
Yeah, one way or another, we're getting some return.
We're going to get some return, man.
He makes it to the PBR, or he's going to make it to your closet.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
One or the other.
Yep. We need a cool looking fur, cool coat. Yeah. But no, it is something. And do you feel like you have seen a resurgence of Western over the last several years?
Oh, Western is it. Like, and I'm talking, I mean, just look at the pop charts, which is kind of a weird way to judge what's popular.
Yeah.
But like, not only are your country songs top of the line, #1, but like your pop stars are trying to do duets and duos with your country
Oh, yeah,
is bigger than it's ever been. Yellowstone, this huge show. But
That's what I credited a lot of it to.
yeah, but no, there is like this fascination. I mean, I think in every generation there's like this rebel mentality that kind of comes out, but like that rebel mentality is just kind of merged with like agriculture and hobby farmers and cowboys and country music. And
It's weird, dude. That's the new punk rock.
Yep. I mean, I go to country concerts every once in a while with my wife, and some are great, but like your big country stars, they're now coming out in Nikes and jean shorts. And
Yeah, they don't
it's
look
a different
like
world. Country is not what it used to be.
they don't look like Alan Jackson.
They
anymore.
don't. But country as a whole of just popularity, and I don't think it's slowing down.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, I don't know if Yellowstone is kind of the cause of it or the beneficiary of it, but yeah, it is kind of like the Yellowstone effect. I mean, that TV show, which I mean, I don't know, I'd love to invite Taylor Sheridan on sometime to talk with us. Like, did they expect it to be as mainstream as it is, or was it more of a like, oh yeah, this
They had no idea how big
this
it
will
was.
play well with the rural crowd, but no, it's literally
I think
the
it
most popular.
surprised them because Kevin Costner, I watched an interview with him, and he said that it was on no one's radar.
Yep.
He said when he took the role, he was like, nobody was even looking at Yellowstone.
Yep.
So I bet you they were really
Well, it kind
shocked.
of makes sense. Like, it's on Paramount. Like,
Yeah.
Like, what? No, I mean, which of course now is streaming, but when it first came out, it was like, how do I even watch this? Like, I was late to the Yellowstone party. It was like, wow, but no, I don't miss an episode now.
I did notice an interesting strategy they used. Like the first season, there was all this nudity. Now there never is. And Beth was naked that's what my dad has seen one episode of Yellowstone, and he's like, all I remember is that good looking woman's in that trough naked. And I'm like, yeah, that's Beth.
Well, and I was never like nerded out on Game of Thrones, but I've had,
Didn't you read the books?
I did, but like people that are like really big into it, they're like, they never expected it to become kind of the phenomenon it was. They're like, if you notice, season 1 of it was kind of the same way. It was a lot more,
It was more nudity? I don't know how you put any more nudity into a show.
Well, I don't know, but they're like, they kind of tamed it down a little bit, which I did watch it. I can't remember. I don't know.
I told y'all I quit.
Yeah, same
season
way.
4.
Like, they didn't realize how mainstream. But you're right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which it's hard for me because I mean we live in a rural town and I kind of stay in my bubble. But I mean, you go out to eat. I mean, half people in there wearing cowboy boots. Blue jeans.
Well, crazy stat. One of our little catchphrases with Agzaga is the online farm store. So I try to do everything I can to research those businesses, those industry.
Yeah.
Tractor Supply dominates it. But there's a lot of research that even Tractor Supply has let out. 75% of Tractor Supply's customers literally call themselves hobby farmers or agricultural enthusiasts.
Really?
75% of people that are shopping at Tractor Supply.
Wow.
Like, it's
figured-
in, man.
Yeah. Wow.
I would have swore that it was maybe 50%.
That's what I'm going to say.
75% like they're a $12 billion company. And like it's,
No, that's awesome. Like we want more people to.
Yeah, let's narrow that divide that's been going on in there. And I mean, dude, like I said, y'all's company, y'all do a great job of this, the Agzaga store. We've praised it, like, especially this time of year, man. As far as toys for your kids, there is no better place to find the toys for your kids.
Well, and we did a whole lot of things different this year to help the moms out there.
Yeah.
Just even shopping the online space, especially if you want some of your top agricultural toys. I get this cow here, this tractor here. What we did is we actually took all of these top agricultural, high quality farm toys and we put them in bundles.
Yeah.
So, and we tried to put them in like typical buying ranges. So like, here's your $50 bundles, your $100 bundles, your $150 bundles, that we can go to one website, know you're getting great high quality agricultural toys, make one purchase, and your shopping for Johnny and Susie is done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, well, like I said, man, y'all crush it on that.
Well, and I wouldn't even know where else to buy stuff like that. I mean, I'm I guess telling them my age now, but like, of course, when I was a kid,
Toys R Us,
Sears catalog.
I
remember the Sears catalog.
Hey, I remember looking through like Cabela's.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh, yeah,
man.
that was always awesome.
And you had to like write down the numbers and then call.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember
to place
that.
your order.
Yeah.
But like I remember we go to Walmart and you could buy like cowboy and Indian toys, and like I was like the bratty little kid that would always be like, how can I buy it?
Yeah.
My mom was trying to buy some, laundry detergent, and I'm wanting to buy some cowboys and Indians, but like I don't know, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I can't tell you the last time I set foot in a Walmart.
Oh, unfortunately, I was there last week.
But I mean, I don't even know. Like I would imagine, I don't know. You probably can't go in there and buy a toy combine.
It's if you are going to get it. So whether you're doing the Walmart big box store or your Amazon store, the biggest thing you're going to get, if it's agriculture, the quality is about as low bottom dollars, dirt.
Cheap
That's
plastic.
their game. Their game is we want to be the cheapest. I'm not saying they're wrong by that, but that's not our approach. We want to get the farm toys that are going to be built to last, that your kid can go and get the same toy or truck that's out there in the field and tear it up, man.
The Ertl, y'all carry that Ertl, man. That's what my son has, like, he's a BTO in the world of toy tractors because he inherited all of my old toys.
I was about to say, I've still got some of mine from when I was a kid.
Oh, dude, and that's what we've got. Levi, like, we got on there last year. We ordered him like this Peterbilt. He likes semis. It's a 359 because I had a 359. We got him a 359, got him a tractor and all this. I mean, he's big time, and it's all the metal, like, the good toys.
But that's what you want Christmas to be. You don't want it to be like the worst thing ever. If you get your kids something, they play with it for 5 minutes and they're just absolutely done. You want to get them something that actually creates this experience. And that is why we always make sure that if you're going to get a toy, you're going to get a product from Agzaga, we make sure it's going to be top quality.
You know what we've been saying we wanted to see on Agzaga?
What?
A Talk Dirt to Me thong.
You know what? I know companies that can make that happen. Don't tease me with a good time.
I was gonna say, man, we always were like, man, we're still waiting on the thongs on there. They got the awesome underwear.
A man thong, right?
Sure. Yeah, both. A banana hammock. Yeah, a banana hammock
Just
on there.
use the Talk Dirt promo code for your 10% off.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So, man, you had told me, continue your story on the Jones, because it's easy to go back to Agzaga because we use it so much.
I'll try to hit the high level real quick.
Yeah. What brought you there?
Yeah, so grandpa started in 1974. Jones Twine and Net Wrap, Jones Boots. Jones Twine, wholesale distributorship. Brought in the products that held hay bales together, built dealer network. At that point, it was Missouri and the states around Missouri. My dad comes in. He helps build the company for several years. Growing up, I always loved business. I loved seeing how our company impacted people, how my grandfather had this magical way of taking care of people. Like, I know a lot of people say their grandpa's their hero. Man, my grandpa was the best. Like, he was special. I actually had such an impact from him in college. I had an impact encounter with the Lord, and I went in the ministry for a decade. So for 10 years, I'm in the ministry.
What'd you do?
Oh man, everything. We planted churches, we youth ministry, associate pastor ministry, children's ministry. Like,
nice.
Shocker, I'm high energy. I probably relate more to like a 12-year-old than I do people my own age. But anyway, I do that for a decade and absolutely love it. The same thing that I loved my grandpa and even business was being able to impact and help people.
Yeah.
And where my story started to change is all things in the company were fine. They weren't great. Family business. There was some drama. There were some problems.
Yeah.
Loved my dad. My dad had some lifestyle, some addiction issues that were there.
Yeah.
But I literally felt tugged to come back into the business world in my heart. And I was like, man, did I miss my ministry assignment? Am I failing? Like kind of that identity crisis if you're in one of those huge life pivotal shifts.
I bet that's that probably is difficult. Of all the career changes, as a Christian, I feel like you probably would be like,
yeah, did I fail?
Did I fail by leaving the ministry?
Like, it was a total identity check, but like there was this revelation in my heart. I never loved business it was never about the money. It was about the ability to make impact. And I read this really cool book. I'll touch on it for 10 seconds. But it talks about all the major areas. It was a Christian book, but it talks about all the major areas that influence society. And in the church world, so many times we're like, well, to build the kingdom or to build the church, we just invite people to church.
Yeah.
And this book painted a whole nother paradigm where like we need crazy, bold Christian leaders in the church, but we need them in education. We need them in politics. We need them in entertainment. We need them in business.
Yep.
And this is where like Chick-fil-A is a perfect example, but I felt called to come back into the family business. I'm an optimist, so I thought it was going to go great. It kind of turned into a Jerry Springer episode.
Yeah. Hold on. What's the name of the book?
It is the 7 Mountains of Influence.
Okay.
And I can't think of the author right now. It was like 12, 13 years ago. But it was just, the picture of it was just great. That's like, this is what the church is supposed to be. We're supposed to impact every area of society.
Well, I'm glad you say that, because I think you see a lot of churches, they actually they almost pull themselves in.
They do.
And it's like, we got our area. We're going to stay right here. You can come in here, join us, but we're not going to really go out.
And if that's a person's heart, I'm not saying it's bad, but gosh dang, how are we supposed to be light to the world, salt to the earth, if we're not willing to go out? And this is where I love Chick-fil-A. Like, I'm not going to get into it, but I could literally talk for an hour on how incredible Chick-fil-A is, but it's just a fast food chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Great Chick-fil-A sauce, but they have this culture inside that, like, I might be having a horrible day, and then I go through that fast food line and I got a smile on my face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's like they truly have a culture that's like almost a kingdom spiritual experience, and they're not shoving it down your throat. They're just loving, serving, helping. And I saw that with my grandpa growing up.
Yeah.
So when I came in to work back for the family, didn't know how it was going to play out, and kind of went through this really dark, difficult time. My grandpa got diagnosed with a bad liver, not a drinker, just got diagnosed. He passes away a few months later.
Yeah.
The hope was my dad would step up to the plate. My dad spirals out of control. And then we make a couple really bad financial decisions. My dad made some bad financial decisions, and our company's on the verge of bankruptcy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And that's how I stepped into CEO. My grandmother was the full
Like,
owner.
here you go, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my very first year as CEO, everything was stacked against us. Back was against the wall. But when God calls you to a place, it's really cool because there's this purpose on the inside of what you're stepping into. And that is where I'm between a purpose with God, and I'm about as ultra competitive as a guy that you find.
Yeah.
And just dumb enough that I feel like if God's for me, I can figure it out somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And we step into this Jones Twine and Net Wrap company. And over the next 4 years, we fly all around the world. We find the top manufacturers. We negotiate the best prices, the best service. We build this internal customer service and sales team, and we end up 5Xing the company. We found us bringing in the red, white, and blue Net Wrap. Just a total game changer on blowing it up and putting us on the map.
How did you survive the first year?
Oh, dear Lord. So I'm going to piggyback on this because you actually opened the episode of something that I'm really, really passionate about.
Okay.
I don't want to rabbit trail this too much.
No, yeah, dude, we love rabbit trails.
Good times.
That's all we do sometimes.
So when I stepped in as CEO, you want to talk about the weight of the world. Being on my shoulders, Grandpa's legacy. And yes, I did some business in college. I read some business books. I had some ministry time. That does not prepare you to be the CEO of a $1 million company on the verge of bankruptcy that you don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
And I mean, just about everything went against us, but it was like through the grace of God, doors just kept opening up. You could almost just feel the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But during that year, because I didn't know how to handle the pressure, I mean, I developed anxiety attacks, IBS. I developed insomnia. And then like I'm one of those guys, I'll work as hard as anybody, but I still want to be super dad.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my family. Like I got my priorities there.
Yeah.
And no, my first year was hell. It wasn't really till year 2 or 3 to where I had the business success, but like I'm on the soul on the inside, it was a struggle. So just doubling down that if any of you guys are going through a really difficult time, don't make that bad decision. Reach out, talk to somebody, message me, find me on Facebook, find me on LinkedIn, wherever you want. I don't care. Message these guys. Yeah. But I know what it's like to go through that really dark time. But just through persistence and grit, we were able to kind of explode this wholesale distributor product of hay baling products. And that was where we started dreaming bigger. Yeah. So this would be about 4.5 years ago. We knew we wanted to take Jones Twine and Net Wrap, turn it into more of an agricultural supply company. Yeah. So just first off, start bringing the rake wheels, the bale spears, the hay baling products. But we'd like to continue to get into the full agricultural supply world to help our dealer network. But then we had this crazy dream of asking the question, what does agriculture need? Like I stepped into a really cool legacy that my grandfather built, so I wanted to pose the same question, not just for my kids, but for the employees in agriculture. Yeah. And what does agriculture need for 50 years? Well, they were awful at marketing, at tech, at getting into the online world. And I kind of had some knowledge
always
with
behind.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it was. But the problem is this: like technology and online, it is evolving quicker now than it ever has. So if we don't find ways to get on there, and that's where I love you guys, and I love what you're doing here, and I love your heart, because if we don't close that gap of agriculture, telling the truth, telling our story, that gap just gets wider and wider and wider. So that's where we looked up building an e-commerce, which would have been way more simple, easy, and less expensive. There are easy ways to try and get into the online world, but I already had some experiences with some companies that tried to build through, just going to call them maybe woke mindset. And they couldn't do it. They were getting shut down. Their companies were getting shut down. So we chose to build Agzaga in a way that there is nobody in the online world. We don't have, the way we build our cloud system, it's not controlled by anybody anywhere. This thing can 100% be built for ag, by ag, and we built it in a way that it truly can become some form of a marketplace with the goal of becoming an agricultural Amazon. Did we have the skill or the talent to do that? No, it was a crazy dream. But literally, through the grace of God, I got an unbelievable group of guys. We built it, we launched it, and we've been growing somewhere between 300 to 400% year over year.
That's awesome.
The best thing is we feel like we're just getting started. But literally, the number one way we've been doing it is by great partnerships with agricultural people like you guys.
Y'all were like, man, we got to grow. There's these two assholes over here in West Tennessee. No, dude, it's. Go ahead.
Which I was going to say, because we had some of that conversation off there. I didn't want you to gloss over it. Like you guys, because for people like me that don't totally understand really anything online. So a lot of the online stores and all use these web hosting platforms and whatnot that, literally can be jerked out from under you in a second. But you guys took a different approach of you built everything from the ground up, where it's 100% controlled by you guys.
Nobody can tell us. They can't hijack it. They can't do anything. Right. But no, like I've got a friend that built on one of your most popular e-commerce hosting sites, and he's in the lawn mowing world, and he was selling mower blades, and his site got shut down out of nowhere with zero support for 3 weeks because they thought he was selling knives. Yeah. It's just like, what stupid mindsets are out there?
Which there's nothing wrong with selling a knife anyway.
I agreed, but that's where they thought it was. But it wasn't even a knife. It was a mower blade, for crying out loud.
Well, they thought he was selling weapons. Yes. He was selling literally mower
and didn't
blades.
have all the proper documentation. But that's where it's like we started hearing those stories, and that's like, okay, we can't go that way to actually advance agriculture. And then we looked up Amazon and some of these other sites, and we have found some ways to get agricultural products on Amazon. It has been an uphill battle, borderline a nightmare. Like they are not built for agriculture. They're not trying to be built for agriculture. They don't have categories set up for agriculture. And it's like the only way we actually could do this at the level that we needed. Like, no, we had to build it. So it's got our own custom code, our own hosting. Every single thing is controlled by us, which was way more expensive and harder than I thought it was going to be. Well, but worth it.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. It gives you lasting power, in my opinion. Like that's, I feel like it's the same way with our show. both of us are self-employed, and you know, I've on my old show, I had a buddy on, and he's one of my best friends, and he was self-employed when he had come on the show, like the first time. The second time he got I won't go into too specific, but he had a public service job. Okay. And he got in trouble the second time, and he was very conservative, but he got called into the office and they were like, "Hey man, you can't say stuff like that." And
he got in trouble for
something he said on the show.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I mean, and trust me,
I'm dying to ask you after we get done who it was.
Yeah. Well, it was but it was very very conservative. There you go.
Well, you
holy hell.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll brag on you guys. You had a great political episode couple weeks ago. I tell anyone that hasn't watched it, go watch. You guys do a great job. But like censorship, that was one of, to me, the biggest voting matters, is how the whole world thought it was okay because you had a different opinion to shut you down, to censor you. And thank the Lord, we actually have a trend of people that are like, no, that is not what we want in this
people
nation.
Are tired of it.
Come on.
That's why, I mean, I really think that's one of the strengths of our show.
Yes.
We just don't, because you see so many, even ag, they're squeaky clean, and, you know, they don't want to step on these toes here. And it's like, man, that's just, if you're offended, we've said this before on here, we have a great audience. We're steadily growing. If you're offended by anything we say and it really bothers you, just go find another show.
Yeah, that's okay. We love you.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's why we've mentioned before, man, we love working with y'all, because you hear stories of guys that there are some big shows in the ag sphere right now. And I would say direct competition with us. Yeah. And some of them have some really large corporate sponsors that are big names in ag, and
there are rules that come with those.
Yes,
yeah. I've often wondered, like, how much do they have to watch?
Yeah,
because I can think of some that are very kind of like us, not politically correct.
Yeah,
and they don't have a lot of.
No,
there's some of the biggest shows out there you'd think would have some of the biggest sponsors. And
they actually don't have any. I don't know if they have any sponsors.
The one I'm thinking of, and I'm like, yeah, but what they do, I mean, hell, they're extremely popular.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how, like, when John Deere was pushing all their stuff to Mexico, when they picked the goober head for their CTO and all this stuff, we roasted the shit out of John Deere. And
hell, Logan's wearing John Deere underwear right now.
Yeah, my man, I got a thong on, a John Deere thong right now. No. And not that it came that way, I've just worn it into a thong, I've worn it out. But no, but it was funny because some of the big shows that are sponsored by John Deere, it was crickets, or it was very...
Yeah, it was a really big thing on social media within ag, but like they couldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And they were just like, So
that's nothing, we've never wanted that. That's why we love working with y'all. So, I mean...
Well, that's, to me, if someone has this huge, large show, this huge, large following, and that is like their day job, that's paying their bills, man, I can understand. I'm not trying to hate on it.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, where we have loved with you guys and connecting with other agricultural people out there, we believe there is something that agriculture needs that might be more than the dollar.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, I'm not judging whatever decision they would make, that's fine.
Yep.
But, like, no, I'm all in on freedom of speech. I'm all on be bold. And it's okay if we disagree. It's okay to have a difference of opinions. You be you. And if someone has a problem, don't. But if you do watch this, like, follow, share.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks, you guys.
Yep.
Go like Agzaga too, please.
Yes.
Yes. You hit on something. It's okay to not agree with somebody on everything. If you agree with somebody on everything, you're probably just a sheep.
They're a robot. They're sheep. They're not.
I don't agree with things that I thought yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like, right. I mean, it's okay to not agree with somebody on everything.
Bible says iron sharpens iron. And like, I coach my kids' youth football, which I know you just came from your kids' basketball practice. I don't know what your guys...
I was not coaching. I coached T-ball.
Smart. I coached everything with my kids, from youth football to youth basketball, and dear Lord.
I don't have the patience.
Basketball, I'm a casual observer.
on.
I'm just the taxi to and from practice right now.
But I say that for this. Like, every time as a coach and as a player, when you win, it's great. Everyone's happy. But guess when you lose, you learn so much more when you lose.
Yeah.
Like, we've had moments in our business where, like, we had seasons where it's like, man, we're winning. But those moments where you lose, where your back's against the wall, like, that's your opportunity to shine and to thrive. And it's just like our nation lost that. It's like we're not willing to disagree. We're not willing to challenge each other. And it's like, that's where greatness comes from. Allow that dialogue to happen.
Dude, you're hitting on it. I think that's where agriculture is right now. I know, like I said, for myself, I'm in a position right now where I'm like, all right, something's got to change.
Yep.
You know, like I'm a full-time farmer. This is what I do. The bottom line ain't working right now. Yeah. So I got to make some adjustments. And that's where Rob Sharkey, we've talked about him before.
He's awesome.
He is, man. And earlier in the year, because we knew these things looked bad. Like in the middle of the year when it was a drought, we were like, this is going to be bad. And Rob put up a little video, and he was like, guys, I know things look bad. And he said, I've seen a lot of guys talking about how bad it's going to be. And he said, and it's probably going to be pretty bad. And he said, but you can approach this, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention, or whatever it is. You know,
necessity is the motherhood of invention.
Yep. And that's what he was like. Moments like this is whenever you see some people really do some awesome things, because it's like you're desperate. Yep. You know, you're like, all right, I got to do something. When everything's booming and jihawing, you just keep towing the line because you're like, what's the point? I mean, we're good.
That's where I love U Sports, FFA, agriculture. Like, my son thinks he's going to be an NBA athlete. And Aiden, if you watch this, I'm sorry, your dad is not that tall. It probably is not going to happen.
Yeah. But hey, now there's been some shorter guys in the NBA.
Listen, you give them all the hope. I cheer them on. Like, fight for it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, probably going to happen. But why do I love U Sports? It teaches that grit, that determination. I want my kid to even take the last second shot and miss it.
Yeah.
And cry and be heartbroken.
Yeah.
But then be better because of it. It's where I love FFA. It's where I love agriculture. It teaches that grittiness.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just something about our society. We're like so scared to disagree for fear of censorship or fear for the loss of a dollar. And I see this trend in our country. That ain't perfect. We got problems, but gosh dang, like we're actually getting back to a healthy thing of celebrating difference of opinions.
Yeah.
And it's needed.
It is. So where is Jones? Like, what's the next step for y'all?
Oh man, I feel like we're just getting started. So Jones Twine, if any dealers out there need any agricultural hay baling products, I got some great competitors that are just great people, but we really do. We got the best products, best prices, best service, incredible sales team.
Yeah.
Warehousing can ship coast to coast in 3 to 4 days. So Jones Twine, just awesome things that it's bringing to the agricultural world. But Amazon, or not Amazon, so Agzaga, like our purpose statement is to help advance agriculture into the online world.
Yeah.
And there's several ways that we're doing that. Number one, we've got this rapidly growing agricultural e-com, and we built it in a way that, like, it's not just agricultural products, but it can tell the product's story. We can put videos, we can put all the right FAQs, so you actually can get the full understanding of what you're buying.
Yeah. Because I hate when I go to buy something and there's nothing in the description.
Yep.
Like, I don't know anything about there are parts. I have bought parts, not to jump off on this, but like certain parts for a track hoe or something, I'll need a sensor. You go on there to order it, and it'll have like the part number and then nothing in the description. Yep. And I'm like, well, shit, I hope it's the right thing.
Well, and here's the reason, once again, like, I did not build Agzaga to make profit because we picked the most expensive way.
Yeah.
But like, I will tell you, the reason why is it takes a ton of time. I mean, I've got a whole full-blown marketing team that they're going all in of researching. You don't just list the description. You got to list the questions that people are asking.
Yep.
But when you do that, you're actually building good marketing practices in your site. So it's worth it, but it's a lot of energy and work to do that. But you ask, what are some things coming down the pipeline? We're all in on product development this year. And if anybody out there knows of great agricultural products, especially USA made ones, send them to us. Tell them to send us a message.
Yeah.
But we actually just launched a parts finder tool. You can go right now. We just don't have a tremendous amount of parts on our site.
Yeah.
So we're going all in on those for everything in the baling world, the tractor world, working on getting into the combine world.
Good.
Some other things we've got coming down the pipeline. We've got this thing in development right now called Agzaga the Mill.
Yeah.
It is something where we want to be So right now, if you are asking a question, so like I know the net wrap world inside and out. That is my family's thing for all these years.
Yeah.
If you go and ask Google a question about net wrap, Google's going to go through the whole internet and it's going to run through all of these. Where are the websites that are trusted? Where is the articles that are trusted? Where can I pull to answer that question? Does it in the blink of a second.
Yeah.
It has nothing. It has nothing. It goes to Farm Talk and pulls random bloggers that like what they're saying. I love the guys that are buying the net wrap and using it. It's wrong.
Yeah.
They are not giving you correct things and correct descriptions or correct troubleshooting about net wrap or your problem.
Yeah.
But Google has no source of trusted website information.
Yeah.
So we're launching this thing called The Mill that we are wanting it to be only articles on there, only videos on there. Yeah, we might do some fun, entertaining stuff, but really the heart as well is that we want a trusted, reliable, educated agricultural source. And we're pretty good at getting Google to trust Agzaga. We know the metrics and how to do that, the SEO rankings, everything. So that's coming down the pipeline this year. And the last thing is just agricultural influencers. Like we are gonna try this year to get more of us together. It's like there's some awesome ones of us. And it's like we know each other, we talk.
Yeah.
But like we would be more powerful if we could find ways to come together to actually unite each other and then help that next wave of agricultural influencers maybe have some understandings or some learning curves along the way.
You know, I think it's interesting on the I feel like the ag influencers, there's a big difference. Like I've noticed this in our local ag here. Ag is insanely competitive.
Yeah.
And I've got some good buddies through doing this show. I've been able to interact with a lot of farmers all over the country, and they're all awesome. But it's funny how in your local area, you can't get several farmers together because they hate each other.
Yep.
Like it'll be like, well, so-and-so, that's the one he rented 2 of my farms. And so, but I feel like the ag influencer sector is not that bad. And maybe it's because most of us are spread out. I don't know.
Yeah, that probably helps.
I was like, I feel like
that's one part of it. And then I don't know.
I'm a rising tides rise all ships kind of guy. I mean, I asked you at dinner tonight, I said, have you ever, because we were talking about one of my buddies at a company, I asked if you had heard of Sornex. You said you were familiar with them. And dude, I think it'd be cool to see an ag thing. Like Sornex does this thing called Winter Strong. And one of the like highlights of my old show was I got invited to go to Winter Strong. And it was invite only at the time. And there was like 150 people to come to their place. They got a farm in South Carolina. They cook like bad to the bone food. They had people from Naked and Afraid come and show you how to start fires, and you build fires, shoot bows, lift weights, and all this stuff. And it was so cool. Just
a big networking event.
It is.
Yes.
And one of the things Bert, the guy that is Bert Soren, he's the head honcho now. You didn't get to wear name tags because he said he thought about making people wear name tags. And he was like, no, I want you to have to go talk to people.
Go talk, yep.
And
actually connect.
Yep. And dude, from going to that, so many networks and it just like keeps going. And even now that's been like 3 years since I've been to Winter Strong. And there's still people that I'm like linking up. I mean, we had a dude on the podcast not long ago. I met him at Winter Strong. I haven't really communicated with him at all in that time frame. We reconnected like 3 years later, and he comes on the show, and now we've got contacts that have branched out from that. So, like, I would love to see, I don't know, I'd love to see some of the ag people actually come together.
That's what we want to do. So here's one of the things we're going to do in first quarter, and then the second huge thing we're going to try to do later in 2025. It's just kind of a bigger undertaking.
Yeah.
But we're going to be launching a spot on Agzaga.com that anyone that wants to become an agricultural influencer, an affiliate marketer for our products, as we're finding these products from all around, like you in your channel and your voice, even if it's smaller, is some of the most powerful things. And then in all of our partnerships that we've had, like they'll share it on their channel, but then we'll take it and share it on our channel or find ways to get our channels to actually mix together. But like, I will tell you, it's one of the things that we've learned at Agzaga. We used to pay a lot of money to get these high level commercials done, and they don't work near as well as an honest person just opening up the product, letting their kids play with the product, and then just sharing the story, that has provided way more of a following and traction. So we're going to open that up on Agzaga. Just anyone that's interested, even if you got a micro following, we don't care. Come and apply, and we're going to try to help you with that. And then that's a great connection for any agricultural products to get out there and to get their name. But yeah, towards the end of 2025, we want to do, and that's sure, Agzaga's Agricultural Influencer Conference. We would love to try to bring all of them together. I don't care if it's us or someone else. But it needs done. We need to find a way to do that. And once again, not only just for us, but for the agricultural products that are really hard to get into the online world. Like, you can't just search it on Google and find it. What we're doing on Agzaga, the majority of our products, I don't even have competitors. Because it's hard.
Well, and that's where... See, now my gears are turning like crazy on this like gathering, because that's what Sornex does there is, I mentioned Montana Knife Company, and they were looking to grow, and they're a weapons. They make knives, so they can't run ads. They were blocked, and they were constantly getting shadow banned and all this. So they were just one of the main sponsors of Winter Strong. And then Traeger Grills was like a huge sponsor. And so, dude, I'm thinking now, I'm like, man, you could have like some of the companies you want to get their products known, have them be part of it. You could really do something cool with that. So
we have the knowledge and the team to launch an online conference, which is low-hanging fruit. I mean, it'd be simple and easy. We could unite. People could come and learn from us. I mean, heck, I guarantee you there are tons of people out there for you guys to just tell your story, what you guys have learned, ups, downs, pros, cons along the way. That would be huge. We want to do that online conference in 2025. It's just going to be later in the year. But that needs to turn into not just an online conference. Like, we all need to get together, heck, whether it's the Louisville Farm Machinery Show or something, a day before or a day after.
Y'all need to come to the Memphis Farm Show so that I don't have to travel. No.
I'm down.
Farm and Gene Show.
But I'm telling you, like, as the marketing world is changing, it is very different than what it used to be. And that is where, like, for us to advance agriculture into the online world, for us to get these products out there, we need people with the followings and the channels, or that are just ambitious and want to try it. We need to be empowering them, because that is the way to get products and their information out there.
Well, and man, and I'm all for, I think a lot of people are afraid, because we do live in this digital age, and people are afraid to like put themselves out there. And I periodically try to do something, maybe put up a video that maybe makes me look a little stupid, like. And I do it just to kind of keep my edge. Like, just recently a good example was the CTO thing. Like, I put on this like flowery, I don't even know, suit or sport coat. And, I did like this over the top thing. And I mean, when you're filming it, you're like, man, I feel like a moron doing this. But it's like, but dude, there's a part of me that really believes if you can march the beat of your own drum and you don't care what some people think about you, it's a superpower.
So let me jump in here for fun. So if anyone gets bored, this is our 50th anniversary for Jones Twine and Jones Boots.
Okay.
So I did have a person come in, and we kind of told this like 7-part short mini series, short form content through Jones Boots Facebook page, and we have all of our old commercials. So my dad and grandpa actually had some really famous commercials. My dad had like he was my height, but he had like this grizzly bear, like boots and more boots voice. So whenever I stepped in, I was like, okay, I gotta outdo him. What do we do? So like some of our first commercials, like, if you buy your boots at Jones Boots, you get superpowers. And we did like, you lifted tons of weights. And then we ended with boots from Jones Boots is super relaxing. So we literally shot it in a hot tub with boots on in the hot, and just stupid, crazy stuff. But like, did we feel awkward the whole time? I thought I was going to be made fun of by every friend and family member of mine for the rest of my life. But gosh dang it, it was awesome. And it worked, and it made impact.
That's the thing. And honestly, I found you'll have some people that most of the time when I do some of those things, the people that say that it's stupid, they never say it to my face. Anyways, so I never even, half the time I don't ever even hear it.
Absolutely.
And the ones, like, you'll get a ton of good feedback. Like, you get a ton of people that are like, dude, that just tripped me out. That was funny. Like, that was a trip. And so, like, man, people worry too much about what people think, and I think it holds them back a lot. And, I mean, dude, sharing, I don't care in ag. I mean, like I said, right now the divide is so huge. I mean, we see it. We had the Griggs on, I don't know, several months ago. They were there in Jackson area, and some of the people there were wanting to ban them from using chicken litter because it stinks. But I guarantee you, that's what we talked about them. The same people that were complaining about the smell of that would be complaining because synthetic fertilizer is not green, but they're trying to use chicken litter and they don't like the smell.
Yeah. We need to get back. And this, like, honestly, I think this is why people are drawn to agriculture. I mean, we talked about that earlier in the show. Like, they're drawn to it because there's something that is supposed to be genuine, real, down to earth. And it's like, as agriculture, like, people are looking at us right now. We have to lean into that.
Yeah.
We have to lean into who we are as human beings on this earth and what we are and what we do.
Yeah.
Well, and people, and I don't know, maybe it's because of the life stage I'm in now, but I feel like people genuinely care more about where their food, where their clothing, where that came from than they did like in the 90s.
Yep.
Which, again, I don't know. I was a kid in the 90s, so maybe I just I didn't care about any of those things.
None of us cared.
I don't think anybody cared in the 90s.
Cereal and ding dongs all day long.
Right. Yeah, the way we ate, like, nobody gave a ding. Like, I mean, like, the Atkins diet came along, eventually or whatever, but, like, people were.
Did your mom make
every other commercial was for cigarettes?
Would your mom make the?
It was still the damn Winston cup.
Yeah, the cinnamon bread.
I don't even know what they call NASCAR's top series anymore.
I told Marcy I was thinking about this.
Oh gosh, yes, that was breakfast.
I loved it.
Piece
butter,
of bread, toasted with butter, sugar, and cinnamon.
Yeah, dude, I would eat a loaf of bread. Like so I told my wife, I was like, I bet you I would damn near eat a loaf of bread when I was like 9 years old.
My A1C is going up just talking.
Yeah, Bobby Lee's he's borderline pre-diabetic, and it's because he ate loaves of bread every Sunday morning.
Well, it wasn't the loaf of bread necessarily.
It was the sugar.
It was the loaf of bread, the sugar.
Yes. So yeah,
and it wasn't butter. It was damn
margarine. Can't believe it's not butter.
Damn canola oil.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. No, I definitely think, and that's, I think as much as you're seeing people wanting to get back on the farm like that, you're wanting to see them support companies like y'all's, because we're wanting to get away from big. Yep. That's what it feels like, nobody wants the big ag. Nobody wants the big pharma. We're wanting to let's go to the company that we know who runs it. What are their values? What are they about? We bitch about people in the ag sector, and they fly like the trans flag and stuff during Pride Month. 99% of their clientele and customers don't support that, but it's like, well, we gotta march to the beat of the woke drum. We gotta, and so things like that. It's like, dude, people want to support companies that are in line with them. Yep. I mean, and used to nobody cared. I remember. Like, I used to wear Levi's jeans. That's just what I wore when I was growing up. And when I got to, I don't know, probably 20 years old, I found out they were donating to anti-gun stuff. And I quit wearing them. And I had a guy who's like, he asked me something about it one time. I was like, I don't wear Levi's jeans. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because they're anti-gun. He's like, well, that's stupid. And I was like, well, it's my money. Yep. Why would I give it to a company that goes against what I stand for?
They're literally going to take some small percentage of that and fight against something that's I'm passionate about.
Yes.
I just believe God made us with deep emotions to genuinely want to connect, to want to care. And it's okay that people don't agree with us. Yes. That's all right. I'm not mad at anyone for disagreeing. I'd actually love great dialogue, healthy dialogue, which never happens.
No.
But at the same point, I love when there is a story that I believe that I can get behind, that I can connect in any area.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think people are longing for that. And that's where, there are days of what we're trying to build in Agzaga. Yeah, I want to take my head and smash it on a brick wall. It is hard. It is difficult. Everything that I thought would be challenging is 1,000 times harder. Yeah. But I'm just like, dang it, we have to do this. We got to find a way to make these things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you, this is, we try to, because we have people ask all the time, like, how can I become a farmer? And that is such a hard question to answer.
That's such a vague question.
It is. It is. It's like, well,
raise a chicken. Let's buy
yes,
a couple
let's
chickens
start
and see
there.
if we can do
Like a
that.
20-page questionnaire I need you to fill out.
Yes. Yeah,
Where
I mean,
do you live?
But I think they're asking something different. I like so many times, like when we ask a what question, like what does it take to be a farmer? Really, we're asking a why question in our heart, but we maybe just don't know what to say. And that's
Yeah.
where it's like, do they literally want to go get into 1,000 acres? No, but there's something in agriculture that they do want.
Yeah.
There's something they're longing for. There's something they're wanting to connect.
yeah,
And that's where it's like, okay, so how do we do that? And that's where it's like, literally, if you're watching this podcast and you live in downtown Memphis and you don't own any acres, like, man, that's awesome. Like, just be a part of agriculture. Be a part of our story. Be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of ridiculous food information out there. Like, don't even get me started on the word organic.
yes,
But, like, on things like that, like, just be knowledgeable. Yeah, but I think people are wanting to connect with ag, which is good. They should be.
It is, yeah.
We feed the world.
yeah, yeah. Well, and man, it's just I don't know. It's been an interesting time, like, because it's almost farming and farmers have almost become like adversarial to a lot of the regular people. We get great support from a more large portion of the people, but then you have those people that are like, well, farmers are just poisoning the world. And so that's where I think it's beneficial for farmers to share. And look, I have been guilty of this myself. Like, you get so bogged down with that I'll just be an asshole sometimes because you get tired of it. So I'll share the meme where it's like, Alex Jones will be like, they're putting chemicals in the water that's turning the frogs gay. And it's like, I like to, sometimes I'll just feed into it. I'm like, hell yeah. Because you just get wore out.
Well, and
but
those people, I think, for the most part, are a very vocal minority.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, yeah, they're still out there, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting time for ag, but I say all that to say, like, if there's a guy, like, I'm trying to think, if there is a dude listening to this, and we're like, man, now is, I can genuinely say, like, if your dream is to be just a row crop farmer, you got a really, really, really uphill battle if you're going to be starting at ground zero. But what about a guy that's like, all right, man, there's this product that I think that I make or something like that, and I want to sell this thing.
Yeah.
What would you tell that guy?
That's actually an awesome. So like my family, a lot of my family, we did farm, but the majority of my family, like we're in ag business. That's what we have focused on.
Yeah.
So that is kind of where Agzaga comes to play. That yes, we have an Agzaga.com e-commerce to do that, but we also have a partnership with Amazon. There's an Agzaga store on Amazon that's rapidly growing. We're trying to help Amazon embrace agriculture. But yeah, if you've got a product or an idea, reach out to us. We have the spot to be able to do it. We might have influencers to be able to partner with. We can help you with marketing. We can help you tell your story.
Yeah.
And that's a gap that agriculture's had for all these years, and we're trying to fill that gap.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of ways to be involved in the industry besides having to be the guy in the tractor.
Absolutely.
And I mean, dude, there's a lot of cool things. Like you were telling us, I mentioned the thing about they need to come here in Memphis so I don't have to travel. And I only say that halfway jokingly because I get crippling anxiety when I leave. But now a guy that likes to travel, you travel a lot.
I travel all around the world, all across the United States constantly. And there are times I go to the eastern part of the world and I, in a 48-hour window, am on planes for 36 hours. And it's awful.
Yeah,
literally awful.
That sounds awful.
But I'm weird. I enjoy it. I'll listen to podcasts, audiobooks. Like, God just made me in a way that I just doesn't bother me. So
yeah. What's a typical week look like for you?
Oh dear Lord, that changes every week.
Yeah, just give us
there is no typical week.
Yeah, it's different all the time. I mean, I will say, like, I'm really blessed with an incredible team. If you ever do I give you a whole list of books so there's several books that highlight what a visionary and the way that they're wired are. So like my favorite one is a book called Traction or Rocket Fuel, both by Gino Wickham. And they highlight the visionary. And they're like, man, visionaries are great. They bring ideas, they bring inspiration, but then they're also like, and they're awful. They drop the ball. They get in, they have all of these weaknesses as well. And I've always, honestly, like I learned early on, even in the ministry, there were things I was really gifted at. There were things I really struggled with.
Yeah.
But that is where, like, to me, where I'm just so thankful for the company that I have, like, I can say every week my job is to encourage people, motivate people, inspire people. My job where I'm at right now, where our company is like, I rarely am thinking, where does Agzaga need to be in 3 months? I'm thinking, where does it need to be in 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? I'm trying to make those partnerships now with that. And that's one of the reasons where I travel, is I'm always trying to build kind of those big picture things.
Yeah.
And I'm just so blessed that I got an incredible team back home that, like, all the things I would be awful at, they're really good at.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
Learning to delegate is it's a hard thing to do.
Trust, delegate, and elevate. It is not easy, especially if you're an opinionated person and you like things done your way.
Yep. What would you tell a guy that's like in a position like that, and he's like, all right, there's things that I need to delegate on, but I have no money?
So let me ask a clarification question. So do they have where are they at in the business phase? And so let me answer this way, and then give me clarification on the question. Every single phase of business takes a different mindset and a different skill set. If you're like still an idea, I would give that person strategy. If you actually have the product but you have no team, like, you just got to find a way to grow it. But, like, that's one of my favorite things.
I was going to say the second one.
So, like, one of the things I want to do with Agzaga, I want to turn Agzaga into as big as we can. Yes, because I want to carry on the legacy. Yes, I want to impact agriculture. But the bigger I make Agzaga, every level of business I figure out, I can help people get to that level at the next phase. It's one of my favorite things. But, like, the second level, they have a product, but they don't know what to do. So the whole way, you have to find a way to grow. There are 3 ways to grow a business or a company. You grow a company either through sales, marketing, or having a product that is so good it actually brings attention to it. So, like, Amazon as a product doesn't have to do marketing because it's Amazon. People come to it. But you got to find a way to do that. If you're not going to go on a marketing in the uphill battle, easy way, learn to sell. And find the partnerships. Learning to build relationships and partnerships is the way. And that's why I'm trying to make Agzaga one of those easy partnerships. Like, hey, go find an agricultural product and then let us help you.
Yeah. And that makes sense, man. Yeah, that definitely, and I feel like today we have an easy, we've talked about this. It's weird because we say something like, now's a terrible time to become a row crop farmer, but now is actually a great time to get into agriculture because there's so many avenues and there's so many ways you can get in. I mean, and everybody just has this romantic vision of it, but man, it's, it can be pretty hellish at times.
My theory is this: anything in life that is worth doing, it's going to have its challenges. It's going to be hard. And that's where at the end of my life, if I can look back and say, dang it, I followed my heart. I was passionate about what I was doing. Like, one of the best quotes ever, everyone should go read it, The Man in the Arena by Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, it's just like, you know what? What's worst case scenario? I got in the ring. I put my dukes up and I fought with everything I had and I lost, but gosh dang it, I was in the ring. I fought. And anyone that criticized, ridiculed, I fought. And that's the beautiful thing of agriculture nowadays. Like, literally, there's so easy ways to start. Start small. Don't get overwhelmed by the crazy dream. Like, just start taking steps.
That was one of the quotes when I first started putting stuff out there, like on the podcast thing. Dude, that was one of the Man in the Arena quotes. Is one of them that I stuck to because it's so like good. The people that run their mouth, I've never seen them in the arena. In our, where we do, I call it the boardroom, but I've got this meeting spot in our company. And the amount of, I would say 99% of people in my life, whenever I talked about Agzaga, so everyone in agriculture is like, oh, that's awesome, you should. But when I talked with the accountants, when I talked with other business people, they're just like, way too big of an uphill battle. What are you doing? So where we have all our company meetings, I've got this huge plaque that is the Man in the Arena. Because I'm just like, we're going to run into difficulties. This is not going to be easy. It's going to be a dogfight. It's worth it. Yeah, man. And I think that, ag as a whole, I think it's an industry. Obviously, we have to keep it alive, and I think it's worth keeping alive. I think we got to be willing, just like y'all. We talked about how marketing has changed over the years. One of the things farmers are terrible at is adapting to, is changing. We never, they well, we've done it this way. We've talked about this on here, well, we do it that way because that's how we've always done it.
Yeah.
And it's like that mentality can kill you.
Yep.
Things have gotten so tight from a financial standpoint that if you're so hell-bent on doing things the way you've done them, because that's just always the way you've done them, it can break you. It can absolutely break you. So, man, I think it's really awesome what y'all are doing. I'm excited.
Come on. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and we've had a great time working with y'all. And, yeah, like I said, we've been working with y'all now, what do we say, about 15 months?
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
And if any other agricultural companies, I know you guys got some partnerships going, but I guess I'll say this, what you guys have done to even helping us, you guys have been one of the best marketing investments. We love your heart. We love that we're connected, but straight marketing investments, you guys have been amazing. So even just giving me a second to talk to all the people that are listening. Thank you guys. You're following this, but then you're hearing about Agzaga, you're getting the promo code and you're going and using it. So that supports them, but that supports us. And my hope is that hey, I want to be your main sponsor as long as possible, but gosh, man, I hope you guys get tons more. I hope this gives you guys tons of rewards and blessings, but seriously, thank you guys. And thank you all the listeners. This has been an amazing partnership that we're really thankful for.
Man. And that's the best thing we can hear.
Yeah.
I think some people get in there and they're like, man, I don't, all they care about is just, we want to return. We don't care. But I can speak for both of us. We both have been hoping that, man, I hope they're getting some return from us here.
Well, yep. We've said it before, we kind of talked about it off air. We don't want a sponsor that's going to, tell us, hey, I don't need to talk about that, or y'all got to tone that down. You got to change your show. Cause then that's pointless.
Yep.
We're just selling out and the show isn't the show anymore. But, hey, only sponsor we've ever had.
I just need to get Talk Dirt underwear, and this will be a huge win.
You get that thong, and then we got it. Yep, you got it. And I'll wear it when I'm transporting my cocaine.
That's right.
Bobby Lee was wondering if I was going to get the cocaine reference in.
You'll wear only that, right?
Only that, yeah. Tony Montana, he says, man, there's only two things in this world that he never breaks for anyone. He never breaks his word. He never breaks his balls. You know who Tony Montana is, don't you? Scarface. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's how I roll with my thong.
You're gonna get a whole new set of followers, and I'm so excited for you, Logan.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Hey,
all the New York City people. Cheers and
joy. Yeah. The New York City folk. Yeah, man. Oh, dude. You want to cue up the man?
That's what I was looking him up at. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be ready tonight.
We're gonna put you on the spot. You know what we like to do at the end of the show.
Let's go.
All right.
We got we still have never put him on the board.
We're so high.
This show we've been doing this show now for 4 years, and we still don't have him on the board.
Here's my problem.
And I think it's pretty simple to do, but I don't know how to do it. I got this damn new
phone last week. Okay, now I see the mute button. I swear, I'm like a boomer. I'm like,
you need a flip phone.
Made in America. Let me start off with two words.
He's back.
Damn it, Joe.
Flame on me.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
What do you got for us? What do you got for us?
No, I love it. When I think made in America, to me, there's two things I'm looking for. I'm looking for number one, quality. I'm looking for innovation. This is not just a cheap thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shout out two companies that we've had great partnerships with Agzaga. Number one is the Perfect Fit Rake Wheel.
Okay.
Obviously USA made steel, but they actually have this innovative design that it fits 99% of rakes. There's one rake that I should probably memorize at some point. But there's one rake it doesn't fit, but 99%.
They fit mine.
That's what matters.
I was gonna say, yeah, Bobby Lee, I know he uses them.
But we literally, it's the most difficult thing that my warehouse team has to ship when we ship an entire set of rake wheels, but we can do it. We get it to you in 3-4 days. And then I'll brag on Agspray. Agspray has been a phenomenal partner. They do, sometimes they might import some of the components, but everything they try to do in the USA made.
Awesome.
And they take the highest level of care and quality. And I'm telling you, in the spray world, there is all sorts of cheap imports that aren't near the quality level. So props to Agspray. Props to the Perfect Fit Rake wheel, both on Agzaga.com.
I was going to say, both of which you can get on Agzaga.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's 2 products I've got right now that I'm using.
Yeah, and the best part too, when you get on Agzaga to get these, you can use the code TALKDIRT, all caps, all one word, and you knock 10% off.
Yeah, it's always on sale.
It is our biggest code that we give to anybody. I have lost money on it often, but it's worth it, and we appreciate it. Talk Dirt, use it.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said, we have really appreciated being partners with you guys and look forward to continuing that.
100%.
And man, like I said, I'm enthusiastic about where we're going. And you mentioned something like one of the big things with growing your company is, look, the financial elements in that's great. That's awesome. I mean, that's the same thing with growing the podcast. It's like, that's nice. That's like icing on the cake. But we've mentioned on here, one of our objectives, I guess, with this show is we want to rattle some of those cages that need to be rattled. To do so, we got to get that exposure. We got to get big enough to rattle those cages. So, I mean, that's why we do urge people. And you hit it on the head, saying word of mouth and kind of going through. That's the best way to share. I've mentioned on here before, even Hollywood, I've heard them talk about movies that are coming out. One of the ways they would judge whether or not it was going to be successful, they would do a test crowd. And the test crowd, dependent on when they'd ask them at the end, are you likely to recommend this movie to somebody else?
Yep.
Depending on how strong of a response they got yes to that would tell them if the movie was going to be a big success. And I mean, so word of mouth, even in this digital age, like word of mouth is king.
That's everything right now, whether it's Google, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple, iTunes, everything is very based on algorithms. And what the algorithms are trying to do is what should we push, what is trusted, and they do that on what are people liking, what are people commenting. So if you get the chance, share, thumbs up, like, follow on all platforms. Like that is the number one way in the online world to play that algorithm game, to get podcasts like this, YouTube channels like this to the next level.
Where can people follow you and see what you're doing?
Easy answer is everything on Agzaga. We've got every single channel. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, you'll get a whole bunch about my 4 cute, adorable kids. But yeah, biggest thing, huge help to us. If you can go follow us all on Agzaga, you'll find all our deals, all our discounts, all our promos, all our specials. My marketing team just absolutely over and above. They're fantastic. Do a great job.
Awesome. Well, guys, y'all know what you need to do. Go follow them, share the word. And man, I got to tell our audience, man, y'all are doing a great job. It sounds like. I mean, y'all are knocking it out of the park. So we appreciate you going and using the code.
Yeah, do that Christmas shopping. You got little kids.
Yeah, you still got time.
Kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews.
We've got 2 big things going on. So number 1, farm toys. We've got till December 16th. It's kind of our cutoff date that we can guarantee we can get it to you.
Yeah.
Maybe 17th, 18th. We could, but 16th is the day. So go check out all the farm toy bundles. And then if you need any of your hay baling products, specifically net wrap, the whole net wrap world, all the manufacturers give us these huge preseason discounts. We are extending them to you guys.
Awesome.
We've got December, I think, 8% off right now. So go and get that. And I promise you the inventory is going to be dwindling on both of those sections as well, toys and net wrap. So go and get it now.
Awesome. Guys, do that. Anthony, thank you, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. We'll catch y'all next week.
Yep.